league, we're going to talk about Anthony Richardson, new sheriff in town. We talked about him last week a little bit, but the noise just keeps on coming. Professor?
Boy, reps, reps, reps. He is stealing all the reps. And I think it's a good thing. They know he's the future, so they're giving him 50% of the ones, with Gardner Minshew getting the other 50%. He's getting 100% of the twos, and he is getting 50% of the threes. So he's getting essentially more reps than any of the quarterbacks probably in the league, truthfully, because you're not really going to do that unless you're trying to get him caught up to speed fast. Now, I will say this, and this is coming from obviously an offensive player, one of the tight ends, Aline Coley, I think his name is, down there in Indianapolis, says, guys, he has the most incredible arm I've ever seen. It's a flick of the wrist, and the ball is a 40-yard rope, which we all know that. And he said, he made three throws just today that is top level NFL throws that only the top guys are making, and he is just a dude. So I'm thinking you get an extremely heavy dose of him in the preseason, get him up to the game speed of the NFL. He gets to know the playbook. He gets to see what defenses are going to do against him. And obviously this playbook is going to look a lot like the Eagles because that's who they went and got as a coordinator from there. So it's very interesting that they are feeding him all the reps. So Mr. Anthony, it's the ball's in your court.
I muted myself for the first time ever. I was blowing my nose. I'm trying to look something up here really quick because I'm going to do a comparison. But interesting. Okay, so first thing I want to say is I feel bad for Gardner Minshew because the guy can't catch a break. Here in Jacksonville, loved him to death. Believe it was kind of like his time when Nick Folk showed up and they kind of went back and forth, and then Nick got hurt and he took over, and then Trevor came in. So he's always been battling with a bigger presence, a bigger personality. Minshew has a big personality, but not the star talent behind it to support it. He's fun. He's got the hair. Not as much anymore, but early on when he was in Jacksonville, like, we ate it up. We loved it. The guy fit right in. Goes to Philadelphia, does a pretty good job. Back it up. Jalen Hurts comes in, does a good job. Again, it's not flashy. Nobody cares. He's kind of one of those quarterbacks that kind of just, honestly, in a sense, like Derek Carr. Like, you could, Derek Carr in at the Raiders kind of just existed there. Like, you knew Derek Carr was there, but it wasn't like, it's Derek Carr. Right?
Or Keenum.
Or Case Keenum, yeah. They exist, but it's like, who's the quarterback there in Minnesota? What's his name? Kirk Cousins? Kirk Cousins has done a better job of pulling himself out of that, but Case Keenum was a phenomenal one. And now he's in Indy, where he rightfully, in my opinion, should get the job, right? I feel like he's probably the better quarterback. But he's not. You put him up next to Anthony Richardson in practice, he's not going to look like that. He doesn't flick the ball 40 yards. He just doesn't do that. So he's going to battle that all offseason. I think he's fine. I think he'll be okay to deal with it, but it's just guy keeps getting ran over. And again, you're taking somebody like an Anthony Richardson who's just a physical freak. I mean, I've met the guy. We've seen him in Gainesville. It's ridiculous just watching him play. Like, it's just stature. In practice, we've seen the clips of him as well. Yeah, he's going to look way better than everybody else. Gardner Minshew's not going to blow you out of the water. Sam Ellinger's not going to blow you out of the water. Those guys are not blowing anybody out of the water. Never have. Never will. They win football games, right? They have strengths in other areas, which probably will benefit Anthony. He'll be able to learn those areas that he lacks at from those two guys. So we'll see how that plays out. But the next thing I wanted to compare is, as we talk about him more and more, it reminds me a little bit of Mahomes. And here's why I say this. When Mahomes got drafted, Mahomes had a much better college career, though. So let's not compare. I'm not comparing those two. I don't want people to start yelling at me in the comments. I'm talking about more so him coming out of the NFL. When Kansas City drafted him, they weren't as high on him as people are on Anthony. Kansas City, I want to say, traded up for him because Andy Reid was like, I see something in that guy. And obviously, look what it turned out to be. The best thing ever. You hear all the time, though, the guy makes throws that I've never seen before. And we're hearing the same thing said now about Anthony Richardson. That was my next comparison. And the other thing I wanted to go over when I was looking up is prospect grade. Anthony's was a 6.4, will become a good starter within 2 years. Patty's will eventually be plus starter, a 6.3. So that is kind of what I'm a sense of the comparison of coming out. And again, they're both physical freaks, both making incredible throws, et cetera, et cetera. Mahomes had a much better college career, though. That's the one thing. That's the one thing that you can point to is like, well, there's more data behind it than what Anthony has, but the belief and him having success is through the roof. And it's going to probably be one of the most anticipated years we've had in a long time, just with this quarterback class. Probably one of the most exciting classes we've had in a while. The Trevor Lawrence class was exciting. Joey was class. Yeah. But the volume of it and the volume of who will be starters right away for their team, which they're going to be the franchise guy, it's going to be a wild one. But again, always much love for Anthony, and hopefully he has a good time.